leave are becoming targets. Sepoy Serto Thangthang was whisked away by armed men in front of his son. His body was found on Sunday. He belonged to the Kom community. Now, Kom community have been neutral in the ethnic conflict between Meiteis and Kuki. They also went ahead on Sunday, made a plea, but nothing happened. Now, Sepoy Serto Thangthang was abducted, as I said, on Saturday. He was abducted from the Tarung in Imphal West. Appeal was made for his release. His body was recovered on Sunday. Serto was shot from point blank range. He had served in Assam regiment. He was posted at Lee Makhong military station. That is one part of the story. The other part of the story is that the attempts to free miscreants by public continues. Manipur police very bravely fought them. Manipur police warned the miscreants. Police arrested 5 people with sophisticated weapons. They were arrested on Saturday. Mob again tried to free them from the police station. They were all produced before the magistrate. So, Manipur police has warned them that, they will not be allowed to take over the police station. A stern warning has gone from the Manipur police to all the miscreants. Now, let me come to the point and ask Brijesh, how seriously we should take the killing of army man on vacation. This is not the first state. Kashmir has seen series of such attacks. Men have gone back to their villages, and then the terrorists have gone after them.
See, we have seen the Jammu Kashmir police undergoing, several people from Jammu Kashmir police and also from Indian Army having undergone this. Had this been a normal time, we would have been forced to look into the real reason why this happened, this brutal killing happened, and then, what exactly was the reasons behind it. But the fact of the matter is that Manipur is caught between one of the worst ethnic conflict it has witnessed in last several years. And on the top of it, this particular killing serves as a very chilling reminder of the state of law and order affair as far as the state of Manipur is concerned. And I think time has come for the police, for the administration, for the state to crack down doubly hard. Because the part B of the story, which we'll discuss, is also interrelated in the sense that that is again raises the larger question that how these miscreants feel emboldened, and emboldened enough to attack a police station, trying to flee the armed miscreants which have been arrested by the police. I think it just says that there's a sense of feeling that nothing can be done to them, and that is the reason why this time they didn't succeed, because this time the police was alert. I think now the time has come for the police. I mean, it should have done a couple of months back, but better late than never. I think they should clamp down so hard that it should be a lesson to other miscreants that if they try to take law and order into their own hand, this is exactly what is going to happen.
Okay, I'll be joined by Dr. Thangul. I'm a Haukep Assistant Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance, JNU. I am also being joined by Group Captain, retired, Nandu Kumar Sharma, Spokesperson, Delhi Meitei Coordinating Committee, and Major General Ashwani Sivach. I'll first go to Major General Sivach. Sir, your first response: an army man getting abducted, shot point blank. He was on leave. We had witnessed many such incidents in Kashmir, but in Manipur it is first. Your first reaction on this, and what should be the response of the army and the state?
Absolutely. See, it's a very unfortunate. Basically, army, he has been kidnapped and thereafter he has been killed. It is a matter of disgrace for the whole nation. A person who is fighting for the country, whatever can be ethnic violence between two communities. But the army is above all. He's fighting not for a particular community, he's fighting for the nation. And he comes at home, he's abducted in front of his 10-year child, and then he's been killed. I suppose that humanity has completely dead in Manipur. And the ethnic violence is so serious that they are not bothered, that they are picking up a chap who has served the nation. He was a regular soldier in Assam regiment, and thereafter retirement he has joined the DSC. But unfortunately, this is what happening. But to me, it looks like that the certain positive which we were discussing. I think now the police is coming very strongly. They are now responding in a manner which they should have done earlier. Late but better than never. So I suppose the whole environment will change once the police will also become strong. But as far as this incident is concerned, it is very hurting, and one feels bad about it. that the army man have been abducted. He has fought for the nation. He is the jewel of the nation. He does not belong to any community. He belongs to the nation. He belongs to the state.
Okay.
And in case they have done this, I think they must be taken to the task. And all those who are involved in abducting and killing the army soldier must be tracked at the earliest and should be given the maximum punishment.
Mr. Anand Kumar, your opening comments on this specific incident. I think it's a first in Manipur ethnic conflict.
Yeah, it is very sad to kill army Jawan, and it's very sad. It's condemnable highly, and fortunately, police has come into action promptly in this episode, and I strongly condemn such acts. However, police taking action is very good, and all this law and order has been deteriorated because the law enforcing agencies have not done their duties earlier. Like you would be seeing, and many people are missing, like Leining Thong, one girl about 16 years old, she was missed for 1.5 months back. The police has not done any action against them. And also the rape victim on 3rd at Churchandpur, only the FIR has been raised, no arrest has been done. So this type of lethargy in the law enforcing agencies has led to such type of actions. And I strongly condemn killing of army Jawans. He may be from any ethnic community, but the army is above all. They protect the nation, and all government agencies must ensure that all army Jawans and army officers must be protected from such miscreants and such actions. I strongly condemn such acts, and however, police has done certain prompt actions in this regard, and I think they should be taking actions for the crimes done against the civilians also.
Okay, Dr. Haukib, what sort of information you are getting from the valley? I know you speak to people there. What happened? Why was he abducted? Opening comments on his abduction and subsequent killing has taken place, but why was he targeted like this?
You know, Kartike, the Koms who are culturally they are aligned, or they are basically in the Kuki Chin family, but they're during this conflict they have been neutral, and then they are very vulnerable, and then they have been maintaining a kind of neutrality in this conflict, and on both sides from the both warring communities, we have been not dragging the community into this conflict. That is seen from the last 4.5 months of conflict, because they are a very small community. Despite in the past decades, they are trying to forge an alliance in the name of Condemnation identity, aligning a few of the tribes within the Condemnation community. But yet that has not been successful, and we understand that being a marginal and very small community, and they are very vulnerable, we understand their positions, and we are not dragging them into this conflict. Yet it is very unfortunate that yesterday a person who has served the nation for so many years has been murdered without reason, perhaps because of his identity or because of certain reason. But I think that is not the reason to commit certain crime, which is taking someone's life and someone's livelihood. And I also feel that coming to first things first, it's about law and order situation in the state. Had the power, of controlling the mob, controlling the miscreants being given to the police since 3rd May, fully by the chief minister, who is also the home minister, I think many of this conflict could have been avoided long ago. I think the problem solely lies with not empowering the police with the kind of power that has to be given to them, being impartial, maintaining impartiality between communities, trying to control the mob as it is. All these powers are not given to the police fully by the chief minister. That's clearly what.
But Dr. Haukib, it was very sad. Yesterday I was just thinking, the Kom community did a press conference saying that, we are neutral. And I was just thinking that he belonged, he's part of the defense forces, army, they don't belong to community, they serve the nation. And the community had to do a press conference. Nonetheless, it's so sad that nothing happened.
Whether you work or serve the nation as an army man or as a police, doesn't matter in this kind of conflicts, because you are identified with your identity which you are affiliated with. So that's the sad thing about this conflict. And hopefully, if the Chief Minister or the Home Minister of India hears our discussion, then restoring law and order is the prime, the utmost importance that has to be given right now. Unless the police are given power to handle all these situations without impartiality, then I think Manipur is not going to return to normalcy very soon, and that has to be emphasized right now. And all measures has to be taken how the police and the paramilitary forces should cooperate to handle this kind of mob which were doing certain anti-social or anti-state elements within Imphal also, or whether it happens in the hill areas also. They have to jointly fight together to maintain or restore order.
General Sivaj, what should be the response of the security forces now?
No, the response of the security forces should be very, very strict in any way. The security forces are going in a big way against all these miscreants. See, as far as security forces are concerned, one thing is they should be above board, they should be neutral, they should be objective, and anyone who is taking law in his hand, they must be targeted. Now, remember this police action which has taken place recently. I wish it could have been done earlier, but certainly this sent a very positive message. We will not accept this nonsense, and the way these fights were taken to the police custody, and thereafter some miscreants tried to get them out. That was basically registered, and they are now produced in the court. Exactly, this is the correct action when you send a very good message.
But General Sivaj,
the
fact is that they have targeted an army man also reflects how emboldened these militants are. It's like the target you choose. It reflects your attitude.
Absolutely. I see the point. What is happening is that as far as the army man is concerned, he does not belong to any community. He belongs to nation. He has served the nation. And that's why he's proud of himself, proud of the nation. And he never thought that, point is that to me, it looks like that he belonged to a particular ethnic community. He was in a place where there may be other ethnic community, but he will never think that way because he's an army man. He feels, he belongs to this nation. He has served this nation with pride in assamrigiment, thereafter in DSC. So he never felt a threat within himself until unless he was abducted in front of his son and then killed. It is very unfortunate. It's very sad. It sent a very wrong message to the whole country. Remember, this is not, we are talking about Manipur, we are talking about the whole country as such. And remember, there are regiments which have got communities from all the, warring communities, in fact. So the point today is we must go all out. I have been telling one issue time and again. Until and unless these sophisticated weapons do not come out from the society, the violence will not reduce. Now, when these police personnel have taken this weapon, they have taken this sophisticated weapon. This shows without doubt that there are so many weapons, 5,000 to 7,000 weapons which are very sophisticated. M4 rifle, you have a sniper rifle, you have also light machine gun. They are still out in society. You have to make sure that do coordinates, do combing operation, get these weapons out. And the moment you get these weapons out, at least the violence will reduce. And this action which police have done is a step in a right direction. I think many more such action will send a very correct message to society. As far as this army man has been killed, the police and also the security forces must go all out. Whosoever is involved in this must be given the harshest punishment. And you should not allow them to get away. I'm sure we are capable of doing that. And that will send a correct message, because doing such action send a wrong message not only in Manipur, throughout the country. The army belongs to the nation. Army does not belong to a state or any community.
You know, Brijesh, in this theatre, I'll come to you, Mr. Nandakumar. I have noticed one thing personally, that different set of communities feel emboldened to stretch their envelope in context to a particular or different security forces. You know, this has not been the case in many other states. But here I have seen that security forces are at the receiving ends of the mobs. And it is true of, it's true cutting across the segment. This is very peculiar and particular facet of the conflict we witness in Manipur today.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, though my heart completely agrees with what General Siwat say, and, you know, honestly, this is exactly how it should be, that a person who's in the army is basically son of the nation and he doesn't belong to any particular ethnicity and all. But my mind, and you know, which is the reality, is I agree with Dr. Hauke when he says that, you know, in this war, you are not a policeman, you are not an army Jawan, you belong to an ethnicity. So your identity, as your ethnic identity, supersedes every other thing. And that becomes of paramount importance in this ethnic war which has been going on in the state of Manipur. And that is the reason why, you know, people outside Manipur are very easily shocked at the fact that, you know, how army men are being targeted, or how police is being targeted. There, you know, this mindset is a completely different gig altogether. And until unless there is a crackdown, Karthik, until unless there is a very clear message which is being sent that, you know, that no tinkering with law and order will be tolerated. You know, you know how it works. As the saying goes that, you know, if the police wants, you know, they can restore law and order in maximum 24 hours. They won't need a minute more than that. But that the biggest question is if they want. So the thing is that I think, you know, that the
Brijesh, what happened to the talks? Talks were supposed to take place at the level of MHA. We were told that the senior officers had met. In fact, the entire gamut of people there. What happened? What's the status?
I think the level of violence has definitely come down. I won't say that, you know, that the violence is at the same level as, or the same scale as it was some time back. But, you know, what is happening is that, you know, you cannot pass 10 days without one particular incident happening which shatters the fragile peace which has been achieved for those 5-6 days, and that is very worrying, because this shows that, you know, that the people who are behind the screen are still able to call the shots.
Mr. Nandakumar, do you agree with Brijesh that this conflict has entered a different phase altogether now?
Yes, and it will likely to deteriorate more in my assessment if the central government do not take it very seriously and they do not intervene. And I also appreciate the police for recovering and taking prompt action. It has instilled a lot of confidence to a lot of people, I am sure. And similar actions is carried out by the assamrifles in the hill areas and show some such type of visuals. Then both the communities will have a lot of confidence in the Assam Rifle as well as Manipur police. So this is starting of the operations which they can continue and eliminate this type of tension. Otherwise, if central government and the Manipur government do not take actions, I see more serious problems, because the NH2 has been blocked for a long time, you know, and blocking of national highway is a crime by itself under UAPA 1967. And we have problems in Imphal to Jiribam road also. It has been on and off this thing block, and also a lot of Gunda text. You ask anybody in Delhi or Hyderabad major cities, if you want to send something to Imphal, they charge called Gunda tax, illegal tax imposed. So heavy Gunda tax have been imposed, so the people are suffering. There are oil tankers lined up in Jiribam road and NH2, which drivers have refused to drive because of the fear and threatened by the Kuki communities. So national highways are to be guarded by the Assam Rifles and the security forces, so that the supplies are uninterrupted. Otherwise, the supply will be interrupted, and there will be scarcity of the resources. When people are less with resources, it will be very easy to take a side of the miscreants, and they will be easy to convince by the miscreants to come to the wrong side. So these things need to be looked very seriously. And as you know, the crops are in very bad shape. More than 5,000 acres of farmers have been captured by the Kuki community in Thopzaksa Ikai. So those agriculture would not have done it. And the firing at adjoining hills, the farmers are not able to carrying out the farming. So the paddy, the Manipuris eat a lot of rice, which is grown homegrown. So they don't like other rices imported from outside Manipur. So next year, it's going to be a famine sort of thing. And the law and order situation is going to be worse if we do not control at this time. This is what I have to say. The center has to look very seriously and finish this with a strong political will. Try to finish this crisis.
Doctor, how do you feel that this is like the second phase of insurgency, which you know, in which the first thing happens is you fall off the national narrative. There is no discussion. Only thing which comes up on newspaper is some sort of a death, some sort of firing, some sort of a statistics. Are you getting my point, Dr. Haukep? You know, only statistics make it to the pages, not what has happened on the ground.
You know, Kartike, we are entering the second phase of this conflict. There is normalization of the conflict because all over India or around the world, the conflict in Manipur has been normalized like what we have in Ukraine. People, started thinking that this is a normal thing that is happening in Manipur now because it happens. It already happened for the last 4.5 months, and the kind of normalcy that we are seeing now is about violence already. Sporadic violence, killings, just like what we have discussed about the killing of Serto Thangthang Kom yesterday. So in this situation, what we need to do is, I think there are two important things that emerge from this discussion is about the culture of impunity. I think this is something that we need to emphasize in this situation, because if you look into the kind of violence that happens in Imphal or in the hills also, you find that people are emboldened, people are having this, thinking that they have this impunity. Whatever they do, they can still run away with the law and other mercenaries. So we have to look into this with serious concern, because if you look into the kind of behavior or the kind of impunity that the Meitei Papies and the other women folks have yielded in this 4.5 months of conflict, you'd find that they are the impunity that was seen among the army men, and they have this movement against such impunity in the last.
Dr. Haukep, if you ask me, what I would say, I would say that immediate crackdown, in absence of immediate crackdown, all these things have happened. If the crackdown would have been immediate at that point of time, it wouldn't have come to the stage that you can't account for real weapons, as General Sivaj says, the real stuff. I am not saying that the unreal stuff has come back, but the real stuff, real heavy duty stuff.
Definitely, there has to be. People who are breaking the law, they has to be dealt with the kind of eventuality that they have to face. Otherwise, people will still have this feeling that they have this impunity, they can keep on doing. And that's actually what we see in Manipur for the last 4.5 months. So this culture of impunity has to be dealt with. Otherwise, it is not possible to restore law and order. And to bring that, definitely we need, as much as we need AFSPA in the hills, we also need AFSPA for about 2-3 months to deal with this kind of impunity, culture of impunity, which people have yielded in the last 4.5 months. And secondly, we have already emphasized time and again about the recovery of arms and ammunition.
Okay.
We have talked about.
I know Mr. Nandakumar would like to respond on the AFSPA issue. Mr. Nandakumar would like to respond on AFSPA issue. Yes. I'll give you time. But General Sivaj, there is one thing which has been done in Kashmir theatre in last 5 years. Do you think it should be part of Manipur theatre? If you see the change, it's not as if police officers are not being targeted by terrorists. It's not as if that civilians who cooperate with our security, national infrastructure don't get targeted. They do get targeted. But something has changed in Kashmir. And that is, I'm sorry if I sound pedantic, but what has changed in Kashmir in the last 7-8 years is that security forces give it back in 24 to 48 hours. Anantnag operation is an exception that we have not been able to catch all of them right now, but it happens, once a while it happens that operations takes place long time. You would recall, I was young, Operation Sarp Vinash, which took place in the south of Pir Panjal. It took place a lot of time. A lot of people won't even remember what Operation Sarvinash was. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. But in this case, don't you think this approach is just giving it back to whoever they are, whichever community they belong to? If they mess with the state infrastructure, common people, civilians, just give it back to them. Target them, take them down. So that, there is chills down their spine. Something which is happening in Kashmir. That, the terrorist does an act, security forces gives it back in 24 hours. And I've seen that as a journalist, this change in J&K.
Absolutely correct. No doubt about it. See, the situation in Kashmir Valley has taken a lot of turn in last about 2-3 years, especially after Article 370 and 35 have been abrogated. The terrorism is on the last phase, and there are not more than 50 to 70 terrorists left in the valley floor. The point which was there is that if an army man was attacked there in Kashmir Valley, it was basically certain stooges of the terrorist organization which were doing it. But in Manipur, it is a distrust between the two basic ethnic community. And therefore, in case an ex-serviceman comes or serving soldier come there, then he is not treated as an army person, but he is treated as part of a particular community. And that's very unfortunate. But having said so, very correctly brought out, see, army man belong to nation, does not belong to ethnic communities. And in case if he has been abducted and killed, our strongest message has to go within 24 hours. There should be an operation conducted, and all those who were involved in this heinous crime must be brought to the book. I suppose that is the requirement of the day. But yes, the police action which has been done now, at least the beginning has been made. But is the peace prevailing? I think it is what has happened. It is a truce, because between the two communities, they are a buffer zone which have been created, and due to which this temporary peace is there. It is a truce. It may not be a peace which we want it to come. And to bring that everlasting peace, you must get the weapon out of the society. Time and again, we are, trying to convey this point. The way the police has taken these 5-7 weapons, this gives the indication there are so many weapons which are there in the society. Till you do not do cordon and search operation, also do combing operation, these weapons will not voluntarily will be given back. Until these weapons are there with the society, violence level will remain at the same time. And also very important thing which we brought earlier also, seal this border between Myanmar and Manipur. Till the time you don't seal it, you keep on seeing the weapons. If you take it also, the more weapons will come. So these action has to be done, and you have to send a strong message to the society. The point which is positive is that yes, to some extent you find some semblance of law and order coming, police action which has been very positive. But another very negative point is taking place. We are accepting this national highway being blocked. This is failure of state. How can you allow any community to block the national highway?
If you ask me, as a journalist, I would say it encourages impunity. It encourages impunity.
So my point is, national highway must be opened, both of them, because these are the lifeline of Manipur. All these essential items are skyrocketed in case these are blocked. These are the lifeline. A majority of the things are coming by air, so their cost increases to that extent.
Sorry, so General Sivaj, today it really doesn't. I will say this on. It really doesn't bother me that right now if milk is costing 100 rupees or 250 rupees. What really bothered me on Sunday was when this news story broke. There are Fauji has been killed. It bothers me because it's like last line of defense has been breached. It really bothers me. I mean to say, you can call me pedantic, old side patriot. It really bothers me because if you can target men in olive or a navy men or men in air force, then you can target anything in this country. फिर बचता क्या है? जब फौजी को टारगेट कर दोगे तो बचेगा क्या फिर? I'm really bothered about that. But the rest, it doesn't make a difference.
My point is what you are trying to convey. I have conveyed it in no uncertain terms. The defense forces do not belong to state, do not belong to any ethnic community. They belong to nation. They have fought for the nation. They spilled the blood for the
No,
nation.
I'm stunned
and in the
that
case
these
you
people
you
had-
you
these
target
people had
them,
no- these
what
people-
message are you sending
Sir,
to
it's
the
not
serving
about message.
soldier?
I'm stunned that they are terrorists from Pakistan who target Kashmiris, who are Muslims, who work with Indian army. I understand that. Here, they target them that, you don't work with the Indian state. Here, they had no fear of the Indian army. I mean to say, they just walked away with a Fauji and shot him point blank. That bothers me. It requires response from the state, from army.
Absolutely. I am sure the response will be very
I'm sure
swift, and
government
you will
must be
find
working
it
out a response. I'm sure. I'm sure government
I'm
must be
sure.
working out a response. I'm
100%,
sure.
and they will be swift and fast, and these chaps
Yes.
who are involved in this, they will be punished to the highest level. They will be eliminated, and that is
Not
what is
only
required
there
to
should
be
be
done.
action, the action should also be seen, Mr. Nandakumar.
Absolutely.
You wanted
Very
to
correct.
respond on
Yes.
AFSPA issue? Please do.
Yeah,
You can combine both of them.
I have lot of I have lot of points, so please give me some time. Firstly, I would like to clarify about the Meitei. On 13, they have a press conference in Delhi. I was present, in fact, in that, and I was translating in Hindi because the Meitei were speaking in Manipuri. So the Meitei, what is their problem is they are seeing biased treatment by the security forces, especially by the Assam Rifles. So they were saying on 8th of September at Palel, when the group of Meitei goes towards the Assam Rifle to break the barricade and a sign of protest, they were charged with tear gas and rubber bullets, and even they were fired with live rounds, and the 2 people were died, as you know, and the 12 had bullet injuries, including 1 journalist, and 80 male and 90 female were injured. So the leader said, we have no problem. Assam Rifles are doing their duties. We injured, we protested. But however, what we feel bad is when the Kuki women at Torbung, they come and they clean the grasses for mass grave on 3rd of August, they were not treating similar way. So only treatment by the Assam Rifle to the Meitei communities has been very vast and harsh. So had they been treating similarly, they would not have any problem. So they are asking similar treatment and equality in the eyes of law under Article 14. And also they said, had the Assam Rifles and security forces acted similarly on 3rd May in Churchandpur, this incident would not have happened. The tear gases, then bullets, even live rounds would have fired on 3rd May. This problem would haven't stopped. So this was one of the problem they face. They see a biased treatment by the security forces. Having said that, I agree with the Karthikeyan saying that immediate crackdown should be done against the miscreants. Okay, and also ASPA, only the 15 police stations have been removed from ASPA in the valley, and all the hill areas, as we have discussed, have been imposed ASPA. However, there is no crackdown, visible crackdown, I would say. I don't know if they are doing covertly, but there is no visible crackdown at the hills, though ASPA is there. And mostly we have seen the firings are from hillside. I am not saying that it doesn't happen in valley side also, but comparatively, most of the firings are from hillside. So ASPA is not the solution for this problem. And also, comparing with the security forces, the crackdown at Kashmir is very good. But the problem in Manipur is the suspension of operations, though Karthikeyan may not agree with me. And I also strongly object with the Karthikeyan. He doesn't bother about the rice being 250 per kg. This is the biggest problem of the India government and people in mainland things. They don't bother about the people of the Manipur, common people. You think only about the Fausis. That's why.
Mr. Nandakumar, I said,
I'll
allow you to speak. I said, today I don't care about it. I didn't say I don't care about it. I said today I don't care about it in my show about the price. Today. I didn't say I don't care about it. I mean to say this is the phrase of language. What I meant to use the rhetoric to say that today I want to know that army man who was killed represents the might of the Indian state. It's as simple as that.
On this. I'll not argue on that.
You have all the right to debate with me. I'm open to it. You can debate with me.
But
since you said it, I disagree. I'm defending myself to you. You are an honored guest in my show. I said today I don't agree, and I'll say today it bothers me that has happened, and I want to see some action because they are the last line of defense.
Yes, I agree with it. I have the highest respect for the Fausis. I am also ex-Fausi. So there is the highest respect for the Fausis are always given. But however, we cannot discount the civilians being killed and the atrocities being conducted. And mostly, they are very poor. The economy of the Manipur is basically by the government job or by farmers. And many people are living in one meal and they are not able to afford 2 kgs of rice at a time, so they buy 1 kilo at a day and they eat. So 250 rupees or any higher cost of any forget about the rice, any commodities like oil and the dal, even the sabji is, it's very difficult for the poor people to survive. And with this present situation, the business activities are absolutely in downfall. So even the medium class people are having problem. So I think the consideration must be given towards the civilians casualties also, though we have the highest respect of houses and the immediate action must be taken on. Similarly, those who are killed in the in these classes about the civilian missing people, they also should be given justice. And SU, once again, Kartikeyan, you may not like, but SU is the main problem. So SU is abrogated, then Army and Assam Rifle can take action in the hills as well as valley, and the problem can be solved within a short span of time.
I don't know how to respond to it. I mean to say the police armories are being broken in the valley, and Sioux becomes the problem. I really just don't know what to say on that.
No, because my take is that, see, I mean, people can have divergent views and there are no two ways about it. That is how a healthy discussion takes place and understanding of minds is there. So I'm not like, anything. I mean, I'm glad you clarified, because the intention was of what you said. The import was that, today the killing of an army Jawan shocks you more than the rising price of milk. And, I would like to tell Mr. Nand Kumar Sharma ji that, we have done 4-5 hours of program just on the rising prices of essential items in the state of Manipur and the kind of misery it is causing to the normal people. But I would really want to understand from Mr. Nandakumar Sharma ji himself that if SU is the biggest problem, then what is the state government and the centre government doing about it?
And
because
secondly,
the audit which has been done,
and secondly, there have been movement of 166 vehicles along National Highway 2 with essential items have been insured. This is the news I am reading. Strict measures are taken up in vulnerable locations. Security has said this. So 166 vehicles on NH2 have been moved. So it's not as if there is no movement on NH2. Yes, there are problems, but the movement on national highways are taking place. But the issue is, if we keep on coming back to the Sioux, there can never be any talk, Dr. Hauke.
Let me have two response in the previous discussion from Major General Aswini that the supplies of essential items has been blocked in the hills, particularly in the Kuki areas. I think there has been a negotiation going on in the last 4 months. For instance, in Kangpopi district, Kotu has allowed this movement of goods and services, the trucks and others. By trying to assure the government that there should not be any kind of attacks and firings towards the hills, and then they stopped those after 2-3 days because there's an attack on Kuki villages, burning of houses, killing of people. So, and even at the peak of this conflict, you will observe that many of the drivers who are from Pangal and Naga communities, they are allowed to move goods passing through this National Highway 2 and this other national highway. So we also need to understand how supply chain works also. Many goods or all goods that are supplied to Manipur goes to Imphal. It goes to Godown and other traders, and then it moves from Imphal to the nearby districts of Tingnopal, Chandel, Churachandpur and others. So that's how supply chain works in Manipur. And if goods are transported to Imphal or allowed to be transported to Imphal, and then the Meitei and others are checking and blocking all those goods and essential medicines to the hills again, I think that's very unfair of how to deal with such situations. So we have to understand first the intricate situation that happens in Manipur. And secondly, with regards to the firing, that Nanda Kumar has been trying to explain that the firing comes always from the hills. I think, as a neutral people just trying to discuss certain conflict situation, we should acknowledge that the firing comes from both. We can't say that it only comes from the hills. Many times it comes from the valley. The attacking and the killing comes first from the valley. Look into the killings of yesterday. Where it happened? It happens in Imphal, and the kind of situation that happens in Pallel. Despite all this kind of narrative that's been built, actually the attack comes from the valley first, and then only Assam Rifles responded to all those kind of attacks abated by the women folks. And look into the killing of Manipur SI on Humang. Last week, the attack comes from a sniper from the Imphal Valley. So all these things, how can we keep on saying that, or even try to build a narrative that all the firings come from the hills? I think there is more truth in experience than rather than just discussion and trying to blame the other. So we have to be a little trying to be a little neutral, trying to have a certain perspective while looking into the situation in Manipur. That's what I can submit into this discussion.
Dr. Hauke, but I think what is really required right now is some sort of a breakthrough, because this is like normalization. If you look at the NYT front page, Ukraine is not described in context of event. It comes Ukraine war, day 573. The next day it becomes Ukraine war, day 574. It's like, Manipur has the capacity to fall in that trap.
Yes, definitely. There is no normalization of the situation. What is normalized is the conflict. People think that now, after 4.5 months, people think that the conflict is normal in Manipur and it will keep on going. All these kinds of conflict situation, killings, whatever happens in Manipur is being normalized now, and people try to take it as a normal situation of Manipur. So this is a very sad thing, and the responsibility purely lies with the Chief Minister as well as the Home Minister and Prime Minister. And in this special session of the Parliament, there is no agenda on how to solve Manipur or even discussion again. So it's very sad. The country has forgotten. The people, particularly the common people, are suffering. Many thousands, in terms of 70,000 are in refugee camps, in the so-called displaced, camps, and they are, in short of medical supplies. People with, illness, they are unable to access proper health care, especially in the hill areas. And schools are reopened, but still the schools are, struggling with the spaces because it was earlier occupied by these displaced people, and now they are trying to cope with this situation by taking classes with difficulty. And yet people are unable to access internet, through their mobile phones, because not every people can afford a Wi-Fi connection, because it involves 3,000 to 4,000 rupees for the new connections. And with that, I think there are many people who are struggling with that few thousand rupees also. So we have to look into the real situations for the common people rather than the elitist perspective.
Dr. Hauke, what I really feel is, that this inertia needs to be broken, and this inertia needs to be broken both at the political level, civil society level, and at the level of the security. When I say this inertia needs to be broken, I think civil society needs to talk in context of people, not from the point of view of ethnicities. When I say that this inertia needs to be broken, the counter-insurgency, now I use the word counter because these are almost like insurgents. This operation needs to take place reflecting jointness of the security forces, which would require complete complete way of disarming the civilian population. And when I say political, it requires some sort of a strong political response. I mean, so there have been in past where various prime ministers have engaged with various state leadership, which had seen tougher, longer, much more violent insurgencies, but they were against the Indian state. Here violence has taken place between two communities within the Indian state. This is not the time that assembly has been burned. But yes, killing of a sepoy should worry everyone. It's deeply saddening. There should be a response, and I think the alarm bells must ring.
मैं इमरान अहमद खान नियाजी सबके दिल से हल्फ उठाता हूँ.
When Imran Khan came initially into politics, he thought his personal popularity would be sufficient for him. It didn't